Hi everyone, welcome to misheycatyoga. If you're enjoying the content here and you like it a lot, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Please like all of my videos, comment and share them with all of your friends, and I hope to connect with you soon. Meow. Hi and welcome to misheycatyoga. This is another edition of our plant medicine yoga. Today, our plant that we're going to be working with is rose. Look at this lovely rose that I happened to get from a women's circle I was recently in. And if you can see, the inside of it kind of has like two little centers. So that's really odd. I've never seen that before. So beautiful. How wonderful is it that we live in this world and in this planet that is full of natural resources, these plants that are everywhere, that are growing wild, that you can grow in your backyard, and that you can use those plants to help you with your life throughout symptoms of your body, throughout symptoms emotionally. And it's something natural that we can bring into our lives instead of purchasing over-the-counter drugs or prescription medicine. We can try out this natural remedies first to see if any of those kind of ring true or feel good for us. So today we're going to be starting this plant medicine yoga with our theme of rose. We are going to be opening our heart today. Rose is a powerful instrument to dive right into the heart. So we'll be using a lot of heart openers today in our yoga practice. Any props today, I would suggest maybe blocks. Pillows work just as well. Get a couple pillows, get some fluffy pillows. Get on your mat and we will begin in just a moment. All right, starting our practice today with some breath. So we'll begin standing and in that comfortable mountain-like pose where we are solidly rooting our feet into the ground. Let the body get nice and loose here. Maybe wiggle out the fingers, the body, just getting all the loose wiggles out of the way before we get started. And then when you're ready, getting all of those fidgets out, we'll come into a comfortable standing space. Grounding down through the feet, reaching up through the crown. We're going to break our inhale breath into 3 sections. Think on that first third of breath to fill up from the low belly, from the hips, all the way up to the belly. We're going to take a little pause. Second third of the breath is going to be filling up the chest all the way to the collarbones, and we're going to pause, maybe about 2-second pause. That last inhale breath, we're going all the way to the crown of our head, filling up with air until we can't fill up anymore, holding it there for another pause. On the exhale, we're going to slowly let it out through our mouth. Maybe you want to blow like you're blowing out a candle, making those lips nice and pursed. So in through the nose, breaking that breath into 3 sections, out through the mouth. Let's just take a few regular cleansing breaths to start. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. 2 more. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Last one. And we'll begin. Seal the lips. Inhale 1/3, pause. Inhale 2/3, pause. Inhale the rest of the way. Fill up as much as we can. Hold it at the top. Slow exhale out the mouth. Through the nose. Inhale 1/3. Pause. Inhale 2/3. Pause. Inhale the rest of the way. Filling up at the top. Hold it maybe a little longer this time. When you're ready, out through the mouth, nice and slow. One more, 1/3. from the hips to the belly. Pause. From the belly all the way over the chest. Pause. Now all the way, filling up, filling up, filling up. Hold it at the top, full of that prana, full of that life force energy. Slow exhalation out the mouth. From here, bring both hands to the heart center. Maybe stacking one on top of the other. Give yourself a little massage, going one direction, massaging out through that heart. Whenever we bring our physical body or physical touch to these areas where I'm telling you to bring your attention to, it just helps bring that attention and that focus into that area when we're physically touching that spot. Go ahead and massage out the chest the other way. Going a little bit of cleansing here, getting in a little bit of new energy. And then release the hands down. We're going to bring our arms to a cactus-like position. Now squeeze the shoulders together, puff up through the chest. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, tuck the chin, round the spine. Bring your hands inwards, drawing that attention in. Inhale, stand up nice and tall. Spread the arms out. Open the chest, kind of like standing cat and cows here. Exhale, tucking, rounding in. And inhale, broadening through the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades. Maybe the head falls back. One more time, exhaling, rounding down. Bring yourself, planting the seed. Inhale, watching it grow and bloom. And now back through center, tuck and round. This time when we stand, we're rooting down through the feet, stretching up over to the right side, stretching long through the right side of the body, growing down through those roots of the feet, reaching up like those flowers blooming towards the sun, imagining the sun to your right. Exhale, come back through center. Give yourself a hug as you round the spine and fold forward. Inhale, root through those feet, and now take that big bend, that side stretch to the left side. Reaching your flowers, reaching those petals up towards the sun that's now on your left. Big inhale here. Exhale, come back through center, tuck and round. From here, release the hands down into our regular forward fold. Chin is to the chest, rounding through the spine. Upper body is heavy. If you need to make space for your body, make the legs be a little bit wider apart. It's okay to heel toe the feet wider. Honor then respect that space for your body. If you have a belly, maybe shimmying it between the thighs here and letting it rest nice and heavy. Deep inhales and exhales. One more. From here, bending the knees, just coming into this little squat-like position. Wrapping your hands around the shins, or they can stay on the ground. Just tucking the chin and rounding yourself again into that seed here. Imagining we're planting the seeds of the beautiful rose bush. The rose here, the tincture of rose petals is used in heart formulas here. So the rose is really heart-centered. We think of whenever we have the rose, we are making it romantic with a partner or a romantic date, rose petals on the bed, or leading with rose petals, or at a wedding, throwing out the rose petals. And then also we think of roses whenever we are in the time of death, in funerals. From here, we can go ahead and come onto a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like to you, legs crossed, legs straight, whatever you'd like. So roses also alleviate some of that grief and depression. So that's why we see a lot whenever someone's grieving, we send them flowers, because those those flowers, the smell of them are going to help alleviate some of that depression. And it's also an anti-inflammatory plant here. You can tell the rose petals are very soft and soothing. So not only are they smelling good, they're feeling really good when it comes to the skin. Speaking of skin, you can use rose water. I have some here as a little aromatic like facial mist. All of my makeup girlies, if you didn't know, you could use rose water as toner. I'm not much of a makeup person, so I'm not exactly sure what the toner does for your face, but you can give yourself a little spritz of the rose water on the face, on the neck, and that's going to help alleviate a little bit of sunburn too. If you happen to be out, have a lot of sun that day, spraying yourself with a little rose water will also help that. It's also rose is classified as a nervine, which means that this herb has the affinity for the nervous system. It helps calm that nervous system. So a lot of the things we do in yoga also help calm our nervous system, the breathing, some of the postures, the way we move. A lot of the times rocking the hips helps you calm in that nervous system, getting out of the fight or flight, coming into the parasympathetic nervous system. So that's just a little something there. From here, we're on our bottoms. We can be elevated with the hips, with that blanket under the booty if you like. Let's grab our hands onto our knees, a little seated cat-cows. Squeeze the shoulders together, puff up through the chest. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, tuck the chin to the chest, rounding through the spine. Inhale, pressing the chest forward, squeezing the shoulders together, looking up. Exhale, tucking and rounding. A few more like that. Full breaths in, full breaths out. And if you want to move a little bit differently than forward and backward in this seated cat-cow, feel free to maybe barrel roll your ribs around here. Maybe lean a little side to side. So just kind of moving through any other movements that feel good here in the upper body. Then we'll come back through center and just give your neck a little whirl one way. And the opposite way. And lifting the chest back through center. We're going to bring our hands to the low back here. Maybe just the hands are on your hips. Maybe the knuckles are just back there. Or maybe we can go for that reverse prayer hands. Whatever feels comfortable for you. Keep trying to sit up tall. Again, the feet can be crossed, sitting up on your shins or legs straight, wherever feels good for you. And bring the attention to the back of the body. The back of the shoulders, the back of the ribs, the back of the heart. Not a lot of the times we're in this frontward motion, we're giving out information, we're obtaining information, we're doing actions, we're doing things. And so it's all very frontward, front of the body. So just taking that moment to bring the attention to the back of the body helps us calm down a little bit. Alleviating a little bit of that anxiety, bringing that attention off the heaviness of the front of the body, maybe the heaviness of the front of the heart, and breathing into the back of the body where it's a little cool. And we'll go ahead and release that all the way down. And now coming up onto our hands and knees for a tabletop-like position. From here, we're going to hold our cow position for a moment longer than usual. So dropping the belly, articulating those hips up, drawing the chest forward, spreading broad through the collarbones. Lifting our gaze, lifting our head as much as we can, really drawing that heart straight in front of us. Taking a deep breath in as if we're smelling one of those amazing roses. And a big exhale out the mouth. Keep the belly really heavy, hanging low. We're going to start moving just the hips, side to side here. And then back in through center. We're going to move just the ribs to the right side and to the left side. And yes, the other body parts might move a little bit, but let's just focus on pressing the right ribs to the right side, left ribs to the left side. Just the rib cage here. And then coming back through center. Now we're just going to move the shoulders. Option to move your fingers to face outside the long edges of your mat and rock the shoulders side to side. Just the shoulders here. And of course, the bottom wants to move a little, but it can stay there. Then we'll come back through to center here. Bringing your hands back to neutral. We'll take our right foot and send it all the way back behind us, pressing the right toes into the ground. Take a little rock forward and back here. And then bringing it to stillness, drag the right foot all the way over to the right side and plant the foot onto the ground. So the right foot is in line with the left knee. From here, walking the hands back towards yourself, and then slowly lifting the chest all the way up into our gate pose here. Arms come to a T position. This is our gate latch pose. As you can see, it almost resembles those gate bars when the gate is opening and closing. Parighasana. Take a deep breath in here, squeeze the glutes, press the hips forward. So our hips, that left knee right under the hip, and the right foot pressed into the ground, same line as that left knee. Arms to a T position, reach up tall through the crown. On the exhale, bring the right hand towards the right leg and reach the left arm up to the sky. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, start to hinge a little, keeping that left shoulder rolled back so our heart and both shoulders squared straight forward. Driving that hand down nice and slowly, reaching the left fingertips up and over. Taking a deep breath here, in and out. We're going to extend the left fingertips up towards the ceiling again. Keep the bend. Move the left fingertips straight in front of your arm. And then from there, sweep them to the right, up and over the head. Seeing if we can get a little bit deeper here. Keep pressing those hips forward, rolling left shoulder back. Let's go one more inhale. And exhale, coming back through to center. Bring your hands to the hips and bring that right knee in to meet the left one. Our knees are right underneath of the hip points here. We're going to, from here, pretend like we're sitting back on the heels, but not the whole way. Just kind of sitting back like we're going to be almost into a chair. Almost land towards the heels and then psych, sit up nice and tall. Squeeze the glutes, press the hips forward. Pretend like we're sitting back here on the exhale. One more breath in. Exhale, squeeze the glutes, press the hips forward. Keep going like that. Inhale, pretending like we're sitting back. Exhale, pressing the hips forward. 2 more. Last one. Keep squeezing those glutes, pressing the hips forward. Notice when the glutes are really squeezed, the hips are opening up here. Reach through the crown of your head, finding this length, just like a Dandasana, just like in a mountain pose here. Head and shoulders over hips, over the knees. Hands can be on either side of your hips here. Just finding that lift through the upper body. Hands can guide to the back of the hips and press the hips a little bit more forward. Keep our gaze straight ahead though. No need to find into a super back bend quite yet in this Ustrasana. Taking it step by step here. Bring the elbows close together, press the hips forward, and that's it. Inhale, coming back through center. Exhale, sitting down on the hips. Maybe we find ourselves on a pillow or a blanket to sit onto the heels if it's not very comfortable. Bring the palms to touch, hands into the third eye center, pressing the thumbs into the third eye. And just a little tuck of the chin and rounding of the spine here. Breathing in and out. If we're lucky enough to ever live by the ocean, and we see those beautiful flowers, the rosa rugosa that is blooming from the sand. We can stay here, or we can relax the hands on the palms or hands on the thighs for a moment. So this flower, this rosa rugosa, just grows out of nowhere in the middle of the sand. And I always was so fascinated by this flower that can just grow. It's not in the soil. It's not, I mean, I guess it's close to the water because it's near the sea, but it's in the sand where it's really dry. And you think it's kind of barren and nothing can live there. But then these beautiful flowers starts to bloom. And Patricia Green from Green Aromatics said that this alchemy from the sea into the rose rugosa, it creates this alchemization, turning everything in, transmuting everything, all the negative ions and the negative vibes, the negative energy, into this unconditional love and this lightness. And so I just think it was so amazing that alchemy from the sea and from the dryness can create this beautiful flower that literally transmutes energy. It changes all the negative ions into positive ones. So if you're blessed to live by the water or live by the sea, just know that you can find that alchemy there. Through these flowers that grow beautifully, they transmute any of the negative energy. So coming back onto now our tabletop position, we'll send our left leg out. Left toes touch down. Find a little rock forward and backwards. And just as those flowers in the sand can transmute any negative into positive, any bad vibes into compassionate vibes, we can use our practice to do the same thing. Our yoga practice. Use the movements to allow yourself to release any of that extra grief, extra pain, or depression that you're holding on to, and let the movement and the breath alchemize your body into just love and compassion. Bringing ourselves to stillness. Send that left leg all the way out to the side now. Ground through the left sole of the foot. Resting the left knife edge of the foot into the ground. Make sure it's on the same line as the right knee. When you're ready, walking yourself into yourself and sitting up all the way up for this parighasana on the other side. If we have sensitive knees, grab a pillow, grab extra blankets, shove them under your knee, make it comfortable. We'll bring our arms to this T position here. Reach to the crown of our head, pressing those hips forward here, feeling the strength in the left leg. Take a deep breath in and out. Reaching the right fingertips up to the ceiling, left hand down the left leg. Reach through the right fingers, inhale. Take that bend to the left side. Letting the hand just slide wherever it goes. Keeping that right shoulder rolled back. Again, chest and heart straight forward. Big breath in. Stay for the breath out. Lock into those legs. Take the right fingertips, reach them up to the ceiling. And then reach them straight in front of you. Up and over to the left side as they come up over the right side of the ear. Seeing if we feel a little bit different in the side stretch in the upper body whenever we bring our arm forward and round versus just up and over. Excuse me. Here, this pose is opening up our hips. I always believe that our hips, that sacral chakra area, is very much connected to our heart center. Let's go one more breath in and out here. And when you're ready, coming back up through center, bring the hands to the hips, bringing the left knee in to meet the right one. Keeping those knees right under the hip points, making sure there's at least a fist or two in between the knees here. Bringing the hands to the hips. It's that little sit back here on the inhale and exhale, squeezing the glutes, pressing the hips forward. Continue that way. Inhale, like we're sitting back. Exhale, squeezing the glutes, pressing the hips forward. Let's keep going here and thinking about this connection of the sacral chakra to our heart. The sacral chakra is that womb, it's that universal energy, that universal source where literally life forms here. And what is most universal about it is it connects us to our source. It connects us to our mother. The first thing we hear when we're in the womb is that heartbeat of our mother. So the heart and the hips, very much so connected. We notice in our practice, if we're getting into the hips, we might feel a little bit more emotional. Emotions start to release. Some depression, some anxiety, some grief, whatever we're holding into the hips, that correlates to what we're really holding into our hearts is releasing. So last one here, as we pretend to sit back and sit up, squeeze those glutes, bring the hands to the low back here. Draw those elbows as close together as they can, squeeze the glutes. Reach to the crown, inhale. Exhale, guide the hips forward as those elbows try to reach each other behind you. Roll the shoulders back and down, and again, the head can stay looking forward the whole time. As we find more of a back bend here in our Ustrasana, our camel pose, if it feels good, we let the head fall back only last. And recognize with your own body where your boundary line is. If we're somewhere where we can barely breathe and we're holding it and we're just waiting to get out of it, then we've gone too far. Go ahead and come out a little bit, somewhere where it's sustainable for you to have a whole breath in and a whole breath out. Let's go one more here. And coming back through center, sit back on the heels or that bolster or the blanket. Hands to the heart center, thumbs to the third eye. Maybe finding a little roundedness, a little bow of the head if it feels good, or staying neutral. This is your practice. Find what feels best for you to reset. And then releasing the hands all the way down. From here, we're going to walk our hands all the way out and come onto our belly. So let the legs go long behind you and come all the way down here. We're going to pop up onto our forearms for our sphinx pose for a moment. Let your legs go as wide as the mat if they need to. Grounding through those hips, take any little wiggles or movement so it feels good. Try to press all 10 toenails into the ground. Yes, even the pinky ones. We might feel this rotation of the thighs kind of shining higher to the ceiling. We're going to bring our elbows right underneath of our shoulders. If this is feeling a little too much on the low back, we can always just shimmy the elbows a little more in front of us, but we're keeping them an arm's distance apart. So go ahead and grab for opposite elbows. That's how far you're going to know to give them apart. So just grabbing for opposite elbows, finding that measurement of the elbows right under the shoulders, and then bring the forearms parallel to each other. Press the palms into the ground, spread the fingers wide. From here, bringing the shoulders far away from the ears, feeling the scapula go down and a little bit together. Really reaching the chest straight forward. Broadening through the collarbones. Just breathing here. Finding that little stretch in the low back and a big stretch through the collarbones as we really squeeze the shoulders together and down. Actively pressing into the palms here, driving the elbows into the ground. Try to reach the head a little higher. Full breath in, full breath out. Again, imagining that beautiful long stem rose right in front of you, taking a deep inhale, breathing in that beauty. And breathing out any anxiety. Continue that way, inhaling the beauty, exhaling anxiety. 2 more breaths here. And now we're going to bring our hands to frame the chest, lower the body all the way to the ground. Bring the legs a little bit more together just so those ankles are right underneath of our hips. If it feels good, if you're in a body that it feels good to slide your legs and glue them together, then go ahead and do that. But most of us, maybe just about hip distance or wherever our hips are, might feel better. Hands are right here by the chest. Our elbows are really tucked in close to the midline of the body. Our head can rest all the way down, bringing the chin, bringing the forehead to the ground. It's our bhujangasana, our cobra pose. Press into the tops of those feet here. On your inhale breath, squeeze the shoulders a lot. Start to lift the chest just so the heart can shine up. Max of your breath, inhale, and then exhale, slowly lower it down. Let's keep going like that. Slow inhale breath, squeeze the shoulders, lift the chest, and exhale, lower. We're going to go a few more rounds. If you feel like pressing into the hands and extending the chest a little bit more, go for it. Inhale, squeezing the shoulders, coming together and down off the back, lifting the chest a little lower lot. And exhale, slowly lowering it back down. Let's go 2 more like that. Letting the strength of your shoulders squeezing together, lift your upper body. Maybe your hands don't even have to be on the ground. Exhale to lower. 1 more, we're going to lift. Maybe just come to the fingertips or maybe hover the hands off the ground. Keep lifting the body up, inhale. And slowly exhale, come all the way down. Bring the right cheek to the ground. Send your arms behind you, tops of the hands to the ground, and hands up to release. Letting all the shoulders, both of the shoulders, roll forward here. Feeling the heartbeat press into the mat. Letting your heartbeat feel into the earth. Knowing that Mother Earth below us is there just supporting us. Sending any of your worries or stresses right down into the center of the earth, knowing that Mother Gaia will absorb all of that energy, fertilize it, remix, and bloom you back the most perfect rose. One more breath in and out. And then slowly bringing our hands underneath of ourselves. We're going to press ourselves up through a tabletop-like position and then back into our balsana here, child's pose. Maybe walking the knees in, sinking the hips back, extending the arms forward here. So this could be Balasana or child's pose, where we bring our knees as wide as our mat and sink the hips back. Or it could be more like an adho, mukha, virasana, where we bring our knees a little bit more close together, continuing to extend the arms forward and head hanging heavy. Maybe the head's not touching the ground, and that's okay. We just take one of our handy blocks and put it underneath of us, or we can even stack our fist here and rest the forehead on the fists. So just finding a big stretch in the back of the neck and in the back of the body will again bring our attention to the back of our heart. Imagining that seed is starting to bloom a stem, rose stem, nice and tall. And the rose holds so much beauty and grace, but also in the rose stem, it holds thorns. So if we're not careful, with picking our rose and we're just running and grabbing it, we end up getting cut. So we can use that in our lives to allow something beautiful just to be as it is, and not trying to reach for it, change it, grab it, move it. Maybe it wants to stay right where it is. Slowly we'll start to sit ourselves up, walking yourself upwards all the way until we get to a comfortable seat with our spine erect. From here, we'll swing our legs around, scooching our booty to one side, letting the legs go in front of us now. And we'll shimmy some of the flesh out of the way. And sit up nice and tall here in just our Dandasana, our staff pose. So we'll flex through the feet here, hands on either side of the hips, reach through the crown, chin parallel to the ground. Option to bring the chin a little bit closer to the chest. So just a little, just like a half-inch tuck. So the back of the neck and the back of the head can get really long here. Rose is also used, of course, in its beautiful form for pictures, for scents, for perfumes, for that facial mist. It's also used for tea. You can drink the tea of the rose. I have dried rose leaves, and it's for that femininity. It's for that sensuality. It opens up the heart chakra as well. But also you could use the dried rose for smoking. Actually, smoking the herbs is also a way to ingest them. So rolling them up in a joint or a pipe. We want to make sure if we are doing stuff like that, drinking or smoking the rose petals, that these petals are organic. They are not sprayed with any pesticides. They aren't using any dyes. A lot of times, sometimes you see roses that are tie-dyed or different colors. Obviously, those have had chemical alterations to them. Definitely avoid smoking them or drinking them. But if we are either smoking or drinking them, we get a more full-bodied sensation. If you're a wine person, you might recognize that term full-bodied. And that is just going to be a smoother and more satisfying feeling, whether you're drinking it or you're smoking it. It's just kind of rounding it out, making it feel a lot better. Obviously, the flower is going to be sweet, so whether we smoke or whether we drink it, it's going to have that sweetness to it, as well as that aphrodisiac aspect. So here in our Dandasana, I'll take one more breath in and out. And then coming into our Matyseansana, our fish pose. So coming all the way onto our backs here. We'll slide our legs together and come all the way down. Take a full body stretch once we get there. Inhale. And exhale, bring the hands right by the hips. We're going to point the toes, slide the legs together, pop up onto our elbows. I like to shimmy my hands underneath of the glutes or maybe even underneath the low back. So there's just a little pressure on the hands there. Bring the elbows right underneath the shoulder points as much as we can. Point through the toes, legs are stuck together. Take a deep breath here. Inhale, drive those elbows into the ground. Squeeze the shoulders together, lift the chest, let the head fall back all of the way. And maybe do a little bit of rearranging if you want hands to be a little bit lower or move around. Head is just hanging in that shoulder girdle. You can open the mouth and let any air escape here. Keep squeezing together and lifting the chest as much as we can. Maybe the top of the head comes closer to the ground, touches the ground, or doesn't go anywhere close. That's okay. Keep breathing into the heart space, in and out. Driving the elbows in, puffing up through the chest, head falls back even more so. Good, tucking the chin to come out, lift the head first, and then slide the elbows down all of the way. Hug the knees into the chest, give them a little squeeze, maybe rock a little side to side if you please. And then back through center, hugging the knees in. We'll take a little rock and roll up and down the spine here a few times or no times. If you want to just come to your side and come up normally. Maybe you want to pause in the middle and find a little challenge of a boat pose. Whatever you want to do here, making your way up to a comfortable seat just for a moment. We're going to find that pillow or that block or that bolster, whatever it is, and come into a heart opener here, a supported one. So whatever it is, if it's just a block, we're going to bring it long ways here. If we have one block, maybe we have two blocks, and our blocks will go into this T-like position, one for our head to rest on and the other one for our body to rest on. So if we're going for a block, I would say go just for this middle height. If you have a more open back, you can always bring it to the higher height. So that's an option here. Middle of the back here, right between the shoulders, coming to this one. Top of the head can rest on that one. Again, maybe the top of the head wants to rest on a little higher height. Play around, find what feels good for your body. If you're not comfortable with the head falling all the way back, then we can even keep it high up here. So depending on whether you just have blocks or whether you have one pillow, two pillows, get your cushions off your pillows. We can come into a comfortable seat here. I'm going to show you another option to do if you have a couch nearby and you don't have any of those blankets or pillows, but you have like a couch or something here. We can just bring ourselves all the way up to it. And then kind of it's right there at that midline of the back. And then just lean back. Let your arms open wide. Let the head fall back. And just find a little opener there. If we do have that bolster or all those pillows or blankets, we want to stack them up behind us. Bring them all the way to our low back. And then take your time coming down. Maybe start with the forearms. And then eventually coming all the way back down. Legs here, your choice. They can be planted on the ground here. They can be crisscrossed. They can be straight. They can be butterflied. Just finding whatever feels best for you here. We're going to flip the palms to face up. Tops of the hands pressing into the ground. And letting the shoulders open up. Letting the heart open up. Breathing in and out of just the heart space here. Maybe the scent of rose is still in our nose. Maybe we have the spray, maybe we have roses, or maybe we don't have anything with us and we are just bringing to memory what a beautiful rose smells like in its prime and it's open. The petals. We'll be here for just a few moments, but I encourage if you have time and you want to prop yourself up and lay here for 5 or 10 or 15 minutes. And if you have the time, spending it here, allowing your heart to open up and breathing in and out of the space, bringing your attention right into the heart. Again, if we have trouble bringing our attention to the heart, just take a hand there. Until we get back to it, until we can feel it, until we can really embody what that heart chakra has to offer. With the help of the rose, allowing us to ease some of that grief or depression, and bringing in that blooming, that sensation of opening the flower petals, opening our heart. thinking about what it is that just brings you the most joy in your life, what it is that you love the most. And maybe that thing is an outside thing. Maybe it's a material thing. Maybe it's a person or a puppy. Holding on to that. Taking a deep breath into the heart. Big exhale, letting it go. You love something, they say. If you love something, let it go. So just allowing that thing that we love so much just get a little bit farther away from us. Next time we breathe in, we're thinking of something we love about ourselves, something that we love about our body, about our personality, about our voice, whatever it is. Holding that into your heart, believing it to be true, searching for that self-love, finding it, holding on to it. Deep breath into the space, deep breath out. Come out, we'll bring our legs however they were, bringing them straight or bent. If we need a little help, we'll bring our hands to those thighs, tuck the chin to the chest, lift the shoulders and the head off the ground, and then continue to pull yourself all the way up. And we can come into a comfortable seat here to finish with just a quick little meditation. You want to sit on a comfortable seat, that bolster, that blanket, whatever we have. We'll come to this rose meditation where we close our eyes down. We open up the sense of smell, imagining that beautiful rose in front of us. All of its beauty, all of its fierceness with those thorns. And we're imagining ourselves plucking one by one the petals off of this flower in front of you. Imagining if it's red, yellow, pink, whatever color that flower is. Watching it bloom from a closed flower all the way open. And after it's fully bloomed, right before it starts to die, we take one of the petals. And instead of that old saying of he loves me not, all the petals are going to be love. Plucking one, I love my hips. Plucking another one, I love my arms. Plucking another one, I love my butt. Plucking another one, I love my gut. Continue to gently pull these petals off, encouraging words of love towards yourself, towards your body. Letting that happiness and that love overwhelm the heart. Continue until there's no rose petals left. They're on the ground, circling you in a little semicircle. We'll bring our hands to heart center here, breathing right into the heart space, that unconditional love that lies there, connecting within it. That love of the universe, that love of source that lives within us, within our sacral, between the hips, that travels up to the heart, empowering it with that same universal love energy, that source energy, whatever your source is, the gods, goddesses. We'll bring our hands up to the third eye, take a deep breath in, And exhale, we'll bow to this powerful plant medicine that helps us not only in our yoga practice, in our lives, in our emotional and our physical states. Thank you so much for joining me today and practicing with me. Please be sure to follow along for my other videos. If there's another plant that you'd love to explore, tell me in the comments and I'd love to make that for you. Peace and love. Meow. Enjoy your day. Focus on the rose. Go find yourself some flowers.